Should U.S. citizens be worried about ICE? Let's talk about it. Friends, there's a lot of fear out there. U.S. citizens are afraid. I spoke with someone recently who is almost 80 years old, and she's been a U.S. citizen for 30 years now, and she is so afraid of being deported or encountering ICE. She carries around a copy of her U.S. passport. That's how afraid she is. She has nothing on her record. She has never been arrested. She has never gotten into any trouble a day in her life, yet she is afraid. That really broke my heart. Should you be afraid, if you're a U.S. citizen, of encountering ICE? The answer is no. No, no, no. The reason why you should not be afraid about encountering ICE, friends, is because they are actually not targeting you. They care nothing about you. As a matter of fact, they're so few in resources that they can't even spend a minute thinking about a U.S. citizen, because they're trying to figure out how in the world are they going to find that dangerous criminal on their list, or how in the world are they going to find the 1 million individuals in America who have a removal order but are still here in America. They are trying to figure out how are they actually going to also arrest individuals who came to the United States lawfully through the various parole programs that Biden put in place. How are we actually going to arrest those individuals and then put them on an airplane through a process known as expedited or fast-track deportations? They are busy, guys, thinking about all of these logistical issues right now, and they are strapped for resources. Mass deportations as planned isn't going very well because they do not have the resources necessary to carry out mass deportations of the individuals who they really are seeking. So you, U.S. citizen, you're at home, you're fine, you're protected, you're okay. Please do not worry about ICE and having them knocking on your door. They're not knocking on your door to look for you. They are not targeting you. Now, is it possible that a person can be racially profiled by ICE because they look like they could be an immigrant, and so ICE will walk up to them on the street and ask them various uncomfortable questions and attempt to detain them? Could that happen to individuals, and particularly individuals who are U.S. citizens? Well, in some contexts, very, very limited contexts, that could actually happen. And we've seen some TikTok videos out there about a U.S. citizen veteran who was caught up in a work site raid, and it was an awful, awful experience. But guys, I will tell you, we have no one calling us these days saying that they've been approached by ICE on the street wrongfully and that they've been detained by ICE. Not to say that this isn't happening, because as you guys know, it is happening, but it is very, very, very limited. It is not happening on a very big scale at this time, despite what it looks like on TikTok or on YouTube. It just really isn't the reality on the ground for very many people at this time. U.S. citizens who are either born here in the United States or naturalized in the United States are not on the radar. They are not on the list. And if you're a U.S. citizen and you just happen to have been racially profiled, or if there was a workplace raid and you were caught up in that, you should absolutely assert your Fourth Amendment rights. Of course, you could remain silent, but you don't need to remain silent from the standpoint of saying, I'm a U.S. citizen. That is the moment to say, I am a U.S. citizen, and stand your ground with respect to the fact that you're a U.S. citizen. ICE has nothing to do with you. Immigration has nothing to do with you. So it's fine to say, I am a U.S. citizen. Now, do you have to walk around with proof about that? No, you don't. But for some people, whatever makes you feel most comfortable and secure, follow your own conscience. And for some people, like the woman I mentioned earlier, who's almost 80 years old and she's walking around with a copy of her U.S. passport, it doesn't matter what I've told her. I told her you don't have to do that, but she still will do it because it gives her that extra layer of peace of mind to know that I could say, yes, I'm a US citizen, but I could actually show proof of it by showing you a copy of my US passport. So if that's you, fine. Walk around with a copy of your US passport or your passport card. That's fine. But I'm telling you, though, that you don't have to do that. You don't have to be afraid, and you should live your life. Now, here's another fact that I really want you to pay attention to. Denaturalization. A few months ago, there was a lot of talks about denaturalization, and I have videos out there about denaturalization because Stephen Miller, who is the new Deputy Chief of Staff, and he has a lot of power over White House policy, he tweeted some time ago that they're going to rev up denaturalization, and that got everyone all stirred up about the possibility of losing their citizenship through the process known as denaturalization. Now, I'm going to link to my video on denaturalization so that you can get the background on how it works and all of that. Watch it if you're seriously concerned about denaturalization, but 99.9% of you should not be concerned about denaturalization because the government will not target you for denaturalization. There are some limited and rare situations in which they will target certain individuals for denaturalization, but for most of you, you do not fit that criteria. Again, watch the video to know what those grounds for denaturalization are. Denaturalization is very complex. It is very difficult to do. It is litigation for most people, civil litigation that is started in federal court. For other people, it's a criminal process. Most individuals who are going through it, it is a civil litigation process. And the government is typically very successful with denaturalizing the individuals who they take years to investigate and piece together the facts to bring a serious case of denaturalization against them. It takes a lot of resources to do denaturalization, and the government, again, at this time is very limited with their resources. So please do not worry about denaturalization. Guys, you've got to take a breath. Do not worry about losing your citizenship. Do not worry about ICE if you're a US citizen. Please encourage others around you not to worry, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. Please rest easily tonight knowing that you have nothing to fear, US citizen. Thanks so much for watching this video, guys. Share it with others, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.